right, welcome back into Indiebnb. Today we are joined by Ryan O'Connell out of Smyrna, Georgia. Ryan, how we doing today, man?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to it, dude.
Well, one of the most unique sounds I've heard, from some of the bands we've gotten on, and I think I'm excited for our listeners to dive into some of your catalog here, but want to get to know and understand, how you kind of came up with this sound. I mean, it's very garage, just kind of like I can feel myself, in the garage, just kind of grinding out some work in there, doing something to it. Like I love
Yeah.
the energy behind it. So talk to me about it, man.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. Yeah, man, I feel like that's like a loaded question, right? But I would say that I mean, man, I grew up, right? My parents were hippies. Do you know what I mean? So like my dad, I can remember like going back to when I was like 10 years old, listening to like the Grateful Dead, like the Rolling Stones, Neil Young, all of that, right? So I think for me, like music has been just like my foundation, has been like very much a part of my life, right? And I think that as I got older, more high school, college, I actually like got really into punk stuff, so like the DIY scene. And believe it or
Mhm.
not, like people can't believe when they see me, I'm like this like very normal fucking looking dude with like fucking regular hair, but I like played in a bunch of hardcore bands when I was like 18, 20, like loved Minor Threat, Operation Ivy, like all that stuff, right? And so I think that coming to where I am now, like I really have just wanted to try to fuse like all of these different genres that I love, right? You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
also love like 90s like slacker rock, man. Like when I was like 22, I listened to Pavement, Silver Jews, all those types of bands. So like ideally, man, it'd be like taking all these different influences and melding them into something that's sort of new and unique, right? And I think that hopefully some of that comes through with my material.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I could definitely hear some pavement in there, like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like kind of, a little bit, singing, talking kind of combo, you get
Yep.
that, yeah, dry cleaning, feel to it. If you've heard of them, like I
Yeah,
think
love it.
those are some of my favorites. So that's probably why, I like I like some of the vibe you're bringing. But, for this specifically, like, is it just you writing all of it, or, do you have partners? Like, what's the process look like right now?
Yeah, so for this like current project that I'm doing, it's just me. So like literally everything you hear on that record is me. And that's like it's a blessing and a curse, right? So like I'll play the drums, I play the guitar, the keys, all that. Like I think my sweet spot, man, where I feel most comfortable is the guitar, right? That's like what I grew up playing. I've been doing it for fucking however long, 20 years now at this point, I guess, right? But yeah, typically, like I feel like I'll come up with like a guitar riff, right? Like I try to just play and like record shit with my phone, whatever, right? And just like something might come up and I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool or whatever, right? And I'll just like write that down and record it or whatever, and then come back to it. And I think my process, like being just like a one man band, is cool because it gives you a lot of freedom, right? Like you can just sort of do whatever you want with it, and like ideas that you might not want to put like in front of like your band members because they kind of suck ass because they're not like necessarily fully formed or like able to take shape because you're able to devote the time to it, right? So it's a really
Mhm.
organic process, man, for me. And often it just sort of spurs from nowhere, right?
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, we'll jump into the song spotlight, but real quick on that, like kind of spur in the moment, like for you, a lot of your music, the one word, hey, easy, forward, like
Yeah,
when you're
yep,
coming up with the
yep,
titles
yep.
and everything, like keeping it simple, is that something that's kind of just at the forefront right now for you on some of those some of those songs, or
Yeah, no, definitely. I think kind of going back a little bit to like influences, right? I think that someone who really was a big influence on me too was Beck, right? And what I loved about like early Beck, like talking about before like Mellow Gold, right? Where One Foot in the Grave, Stereopathic Soul Manure, all that stuff, like all that lo-fi shit, is that he just kept it simple, right? You would hear these songs, right? And they would be like three chords the entire song, and they'd be like goofy lyrics that like make no sense, but for whatever reason, it just worked so well, right? And so I feel like that's sort of, I mean, obviously, I'm not comparing myself to Beck. He's fucking amazing, but like that ethos is sort of what I'm trying to go for, right? Of like just just having it be simple, man. Do you know what I mean? Because that, I don't know. It's just there's something about that, right? Like I love like progressive music. I love like post rock, all that kind of stuff too. I've like even into like progressive metal and stuff, right? But like
Yeah.
for me, I think that's really where I like to focus my time because I don't know, man. There's just something about it that sets it apart from other types of music.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's dive into like, one of the jams. I mean, Ford is the one that's it's newest out as of the this this taping.
Yep.
And
Yep.
for that one, I mean, like I wrote down fucked up car commercial. Like that was
Yeah,
my
yeah,
like
man. Yep.
that was my kind of my note there. But like,
Yeah.
how did that come to be? I mean, like, do you drive a Ford? Is there a story behind
Funny
it?
enough, I do not drive a Ford, so I don't want to spoil it. Nah, so yeah, man, it's funny with that because the origins, I feel like I'm gonna tell like a long story here. The
No,
origin
good,
is,
good.
yeah, I actually had gotten a new guitar, right? Like I usually use a Jazz Master, of course, fucking stereotypical indie shit, right? But like I just got this like really nice Fender Strat, right? Which isn't typically like a metal, guitar or whatever, but like I was just like, you know what, man, this is super cool. I was like jazzed about this new guitar. I was like, I'm just gonna like dick around and like record something, right? And so I just put together these riffs and I sent it to a buddy of mine who's also, he's a fantastic musician. And he was like, man, this shit actually sounds like the Home Depot commercial. And I was like, dude, that's true. I was like, he like gave me this idea. And I was like, I think it'd be kind of funny if I just like tried to make like the most ridiculous like Ford pickup truck F-150 commercial out of that, right? And I literally just sat there, and so I'm married, right? My wife could like hear me do this because I do this all in like our kitchen is where my studio is. So I'm just like doing like take after take, like trying to say like the most like ridiculous shit over and over and over again to try to see what like stuck. And yeah, at first I was like, I don't know if this shit worked or whatever, right? But I showed it to her and she does stand-up comedy actually, right? So she's like actually legitimately funny. And so I showed it to her and she doesn't, her and she doesn't think I'm funny necessarily, but she's like, dude, this shit is actually like really good. So I was like, okay, okay. And I sent it to another buddy of mine. They're like, yeah, this is actually is funny. So I'm like, all right, I guess it might actually be good. And then I was just like, fuck it, I'll master it and I'll release it as a single. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Is there like is there another part coming to it where, hey, we're gonna get like the other side of it where I go into the dealership and I buy the Ford? I mean, like, is there another part of the story, that's coming?
I mean,
Uh,
man, if Ford wants to issue a sponsorship, I'll take an F-150. That sounds good.
hey, you'd be surprised. We had a band from Nashville, that wrote a song called Topo Chico, and they got reached out to by Topo Chico, and they're like, yo, like, dude, we have so much Topo Chico, we don't know what to
Yeah,
do with it. Like, I'm like,
that's a
dude, bring it down to Atlanta, dude. We'll drink the shit out of that. Let's
that's
go.
amazing, dude. That's cool. But yeah, I feel like with that song too, man, like I mentioned earlier, like I love like heavy stuff too. Like most of
Yeah,
the stuff that I make is more chill, like laid back or whatever. But I think at my heart, like what I enjoy playing the most is like that kind of punk music or that more like I don't know, man. Like Pantera is like a guilty pleasure of mine, right? But like, so I'm just like, dude, I just want to make a song that's sort of like got that vibe to it and just see where it goes. And
yeah.
ended up being an F-150 commercial.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I mean, like for the things that you guys have, do you have things coming out that are, in that vein a little bit more like, all right, hey, we're just gonna go just rip like some more punk chords and play fast and have a lot of energy there. Like, what's kind of on the horizon as you move through?
Yeah, so I mean, I have a lot of different things that are kind of in the works. I'm sure like everybody's like this, where you got like 5 or 6 songs that are like in progress. I definitely do want to do more punk stuff. There's actually a buddy of mine that I'm playing a show. It's on June 8th, not to plug my own shit here, but at Boggs. And the band that'll be doing the backup is called Made Up. They're a local band, and everyone should check them out because they're pretty fucking cool. But the drummer there, he is amazing, man. Like he is seriously like the best drummer I've seen in person, probably in the last like 10 years. And he also loves like old school punk. So like nothing concrete or whatever, but like him and I have like talked about like we should like just do like this crazy side project where we play like 80s like hardcore music like Minor Threat and all that kind of stuff. because I would like to get back to it. There's there's something different about when you're playing that type of music, especially live, right? I mean, as an audience member, but also like as the musician themselves, like there's a certain like almost high you get from like just being there, man, and being a part of that I really miss. And not that I don't like playing my music live now, it's just a totally different vibe.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I think like having so do you think you could be on the same bill as like, all right, you do a set as Ryan O'Connell and then we come back as, the minor threat cover band? I mean, like is it a world where that can work?
I mean, is it possible? Yeah. But dude, I gotta like start doing more cardio, right? Like that is a hell like we're talking about like running around the stage and stuff. That's a hell of a workout, man.
Well, speaking on the live piece, like for you for this project particularly, like, what is you mentioned June 8th, you got something coming up at Boggs Social Supply?
Social
Shit, I know
supply.
where
Yeah,
it's fucking
man.
Boggs. It's good
Yeah.
down by the belt line
You
on
got this. That's it.
yeah.
That's it.
But what's the expectation, for something like this, walking in like as a, cold audience member, like what should I be expecting?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So this will actually be the first time that I've played this material live, right? But I think I don't know, man. When I try to like put myself in the shoes of like an audience member, right? And like, what do I like really enjoy when I see live music? And like, I always think of, and like I said, I'm not comparing myself to him by any means, but like, I love like Neil Young, man. Like, if you ever seen like that SNL clip that he plays, like "Keep on Rocking in the Free World," where he's just like up there and he's just like beating the hell out of that guitar, right? Like,
Yeah.
he probably is my favorite guitar player, not necessarily from like a technical standpoint, for just from like just the pure amount of energy and passion. And like, I think like with our shows or with this show coming up, like it's sort of like taking that, but then like infusing that with like this like kind of slacker vibe, which sounds like paradoxical and weird, but like in a kind of crazy way it works, right? Where like,
Yeah.
I think to me, like the guitar playing is what like really shines through, and then the vocals are sort of there to kind of take you along that journey, right? And
Yeah.
then I don't know, man. It should be a good set. I'm debuting a few different tracks that actually haven't been released too, that I'm excited to put forth, and I think it'll be a good mix of. There is going to be like a couple. I wouldn't say like hardcore punk songs, but a couple like, more like what kind of garage punk, that kind of vibe to it that we'll probably
Mhm.
open with, and then a couple of the more low key kind of lo-fi kind of vibes to them too. So yeah,
All right, sounds like it's gonna be a great mix. I mean, June 8th, everyone need to come out, get the
yeah, man.
Ryan O'Connell experience. So you
Yeah.
mentioned like you have a kind of a backup band. So like do you have to like, I mean, obviously there's a rehearsal process, but like, you know, getting them up to speed on the things you've written, like are you gonna let them kind of, hey, here's the guideline, and then you guys take this and we're gonna, play it live, or is it a hey, like here's what you need to play, go? Like what's
Oh,
the
dude, it's definitely not the latter there. No, I definitely, because I think, I mean, man, I would say that like to me, music is very much like a collaborative thing, right? And
yeah,
especially when you're with like really good musicians, like I'm not a good drummer. I mean, I'm all right, man. Like I'm fine, but
yeah,
I feel like a guy who actually plays the drums like as their instrument is always going to be significantly better than like the guitar player who just like happens to know how to play drums okay, right? So
yeah.
no, I definitely think that it'll be like sort of a fusion. Their band made up. They're like a really cool like Modest Mouse kind of like meets like almost like the B-52s, man, which sounds weird, but like Josh, the guitar player, like him and I have like very similar like taste in music and stuff. And so I think that if anything, it'll make the music better, right? Having that input. And like I have throughout this entire process, like encouraged them, like, please, like if you listen to this stuff and you think like, oh, this part could be better, like, dude, fucking tell me and like we'll change it. And like the music will be much better because of that.
Mhm. Do you ever foresee this project getting like getting a band, like getting some permanent members behind it, or do you think like it'll be, hey, like I want to create it for me now, and then as we get into the touring and get into kind of that process, we'll maybe add those folks in later.
Yeah, I think it's tough, man. I've thought a lot about that. I think it's sort of we're just taking it as it comes, right? You know what I mean? I think like in a perfect world, yeah, it would be great to have like a permanent set of like I don't know, musicians, I guess, for lack of better words, that would be a part of the band. But for right now, like honestly, like I just love playing music. Do you know what I mean? Like I love
Yeah.
creating music. I love the process. Like I love playing live and like I haven't played a show. God, the last show I played was like 3 years ago. So I'm just like super stoked to be back up on
Yeah.
stage and just like putting that music out there.
What now with your was that with this was it with this project too 3 years ago or was it
No, so that was with a different band. So I was in a band called the Lampshades. And yeah, this was I lived in Columbus, Ohio, so that was we were playing up there, a bunch of like college venues and shitty bars and stuff. And trying to think how I would describe that. Do you know? Have you ever heard of Billy Bragg? He was like a folk singer and like he's super cool, man. You should check him out. Where he he's like pretty punk, right? But he would go up there with an electric guitar and play like sort of folk music. But like it blew my mind that he would do that without a backing band at all, right? Uh, but he like kicks ass, dude. I heard of him through an interview with Elvis Costello, right? And they were asking Elvis Costello like, who are like some of your biggest influences? And he's like, oh yeah, like I love like Bob Dylan and Paul Simon and Billy Bragg. And I was like 18 when I heard this. I'm like, holy shit! Like if Billy Bragg is like up there with like Dylan and Paul Simon, like I gotta check this dude out. Um, so anyway, man, yeah, like our music was like more of that style, where it was like kind of folk sort of, but it also like had that more like kind of like punk edge to it. Um, but yeah, we didn't, we just like it was just like a fun project or whatever. We played nothing too crazy. We did play Farm Jam though, which was pretty cool.
Nice. Well, I mean, like speaking of that, like I guess, as you've toured, I mean, you probably toured with, the punk bands back in the day. You obviously had this other project. Like, what are some venues as you get Ryan O'Connell going and, being local here and also, abroad and, in the Southeast, like what are some places you definitely have on your list to get like, hey, we got to go there for sure
Yeah.
and this place for sure.
Dude, I tell you what's a good one that I really want to play is the Nowhere Bar in Athens. Like, oh my God, man. Some of the best shows that I've ever seen has been at the Nowhere Bar. And it's like the dingiest, like shittiest bar, but that's amazing, right? Um, so I'd love to get there. I mean, let's see, like Smiths would be awesome to play too. Like I've seen so many good shows. I haven't actually been to the Masquerade since they rebuilt it, but like when I was a kid, like that was like the mecca of all the music that I listened to.
Mhm.
So if we're just like talking, you know, out loud, right? I mean, it'd be cool to
Yeah,
play there and just see what it's like, man.
for sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, dude, there's definitely a vibe at the Masquerade. It's now a much different than probably. Have you been there since they've
No, I haven't been there since they reopened it.
oh man, okay. So it's like it's in Kenny's Alley, so it's right where you
Okay.
used to walk to go to the TED
Yeah,
and
yeah,
get on the
yeah, yeah.
bus to go to the TED, right? And so
Right.
the there's a bunch of different rooms and it's just a melting pot. You go there on a Friday night, they could be at the Taylor Swift dance party in heaven, they could be having a metal band in hell, they could be
Yeah.
having, a folk band in purgatory, and then
Hmm.
a DJ down the street at Altar, right? Like they have just a massive thing. So it's a very, very cool venue now.
Yeah.
Definitely not. I mean, I think I only went to a handful. I think I went to 2 or 3 shows at the old one, but the new
Yeah.
one is legit. So definitely get that one, circle that one on your list for
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely have to check it out. I just remember the old one, man, when you were like in hell. Like I'd be like, I feel like the ceiling is gonna cave in on me. You could like feel it, like if there was a band playing above you and like shit would be like
Yeah.
falling down from the ceilings and stuff. But that's like
Yeah.
part of the charm, dude.
Definitely. Well, like what about with your, when you were younger in the punk band? I mean, like were y'all playing like garage parties? Like what were those venues like?
Yeah, we played everything, man. Yeah, so this was also it was in Columbus, right? So like I love Columbus, man. It was like such a great city. It's where I went to college and like they had such a diverse music scene where they had venues that were like legit like Fox Theater kind of venues, but then they had like total like hole in the wall places that we would play. There was one called the Scarlet and Gray Cafe, which was like literally I don't know, just like honestly, it reminded me sort of like Moe's Bar from The Simpsons, except even shittier, right? You know what I mean? And so like we would go there and we would have to play. We're like a punk band. All of our songs are like literally a minute and a half, and we'd get there and they'd be like, "Yeah, we need you to fill 2.5 hours at this venue," and I'd be like, "Dude, uh, okay."
Okay.
So we'd end up just playing that. But yeah, we played stuff like that. We played house shows. We did pretty much everything. Like it was like just like the stereotypical like DIY kind of shit, making like crappy flyers and like I had a girlfriend at the time, like stenciling stuff and we'd like put it all over like campus or whatever, do you know what I mean? And just like trying to get shit done.
I love that. I love that. That's kind of like it's almost lost on people nowadays because like you don't find stuff on light poles anymore as much as you find it, through your phone. And it's like it's almost not as not as fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm old enough too to remember like cassette tapes, right? When they were around. Do you know what I mean? Of like, I would get like a mixtape and it'd be like Fugazi and like whatever other bands and like just like there's something like so like visceral about like having that like physical copy of something that you literally have no idea your buddy just like handed it to you and it would like blow your mind when you heard it, right? So yeah, I mean, streaming is great too, obviously, but like there is something that I kind of miss about all of that.
Yeah, one of the things we were talking about on our 100th episode was like, taking the risk and going to a show you don't even know, right?
Yeah,
Like going to,
yeah.
trusting, I think the venue folk, because I think that's something that like really people don't, if it's not a band they've heard of or like have a like kind of, they have a buddy in or something like that, or they have a friend asking them to go, like they don't like more than likely they probably don't go, right? And
Right,
so I think
right.
trusting those folks that are booking shows that like you've been to great ones before there, like, and it's kind of like the same thing like radio. Like I would say I discover most of my music on, on radio now, even
Oh,
even
for sure.
still like, with everything. So I think like having somebody curate your experience, in person too is always good. So it's like it's just the getting that getting in the car and going, that's
Yeah.
the big thing.
No, totally, man. Yeah, I agree. And you know, I mean, I think it's just like with anything, like there's pros and cons of like moving towards like a more like streaming based. It makes it way easier for like musicians like us to get our shit out there, right? Which is good. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And like it's easier to get traction. But yeah, I don't know. There's a balance in there somewhere, I feel like, between the old and the new.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, like, for you, like in that streaming world, like as you've kind of released these songs, like what have you learned, I guess, from that, that experience? Because like obviously everyone's different. You've grown up in the era before that. So like what kind of has, been working for you versus not working for you in that kind of capacity?
Dude, I feel like the Spotify like algorithm is just like an enigma, man. I have no idea. So it's like it's funny because I put out I guess two singles now and then an EP and the EP like it did okay, right? Like this is all really new to me, man. You know what I mean? Putting
Mhm.
out stuff on streaming and like going through that whole process. But then I have a song called Dog, which like honestly was like just sort of like kind of a joke song like that Ford song was, right? And like I mean, to me, like 12,000 plays is huge. So I was like, oh my God, it's like blowing up. But even though like 12,000 it's like plays like isn't really even that much, but like I have no idea why that song was so
Yeah.
popular. It just like happened to like hit the lottery, I guess, for lack of better words, for the algorithm. Um, but yeah, I think it's just maybe like consistency. I don't know. And just like, I think one of the pluses is there's not a lot to lose when you're doing it yourself, right? So you're like, yeah, I want to
Mhm.
try to make a really goofy, like butt rock, fucking Ford truck commercial, you know what I mean? And just throw it out there and see what happens, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what playlist that's gonna pop up on,
Yeah.
like silly songs, or I don't know. Like this, you never know.
Yeah. 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 Totally.
Um,
Totally.
that's so good. Well, speaking of silliness, let's transition over to a little Pete Peterson party pack of questions. It is rapid fire. We will begin right now. Cake or pie? Let's do this thing.
Oh, man, jumping right in. I'd say pie, definitely pie.
All right, Ryan O'Connell, pie guy. Let's go. Salad or soup?
Oh man, that is a tough one. I feel like it depends, man. Are we including cold soup or is it just hot soup?
Oh, any soup, any
I'm
soup,
definitely
both soups.
I'm down with the gazpacho, man. So I'd say soup.
Is a spotch. All right. That's one that has not been mentioned
It's good shit, man. Got to
in
try
there.
it.
All right. Sunrise or sunsets? What are you seeing more of these days?
Oh, definitely sunrises, man. I feel like I'm an old man. Like my wife and I joke. I'm like, it's like 8:30. We've got to go to bed, turn Netflix on, fall asleep. So yeah, definitely sunrises.
I like it. I like it. Well, you mentioned you're located over in Smyrna. This one might be an easy one for you. Home run or a touchdown? What would you rather do?
Oh, so you would think I would say home run, but like, man, I gotta go touchdown. Like, there's just something about it, right? Like, I don't know. I played football a little bit when I was in high school, and I never scored a touchdown. So maybe it's just trying to relive my youth.
I got you. I love it. I love it. Night in or night out? What are you having more of?
Oh, definitely night in. I'd say night ins, yeah, for sure.
Okay. If you do go out though, and your jam comes on, are you hitting the robot or the worm?
Ooh. I'd say I want to do the worm, man. I've never actually done the worm, but I feel like if it's a good enough song, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. I like it. Are you more like a ninja or a pirate?
Definitely not a ninja. Everyone's like, dude, your voice is so loud. So I would say not ninja. I'd say pirate.
I like it. Guac or queso at your favorite Mexican spot?
Ooh, definitely guac, man. 100%.
I love it. I love it. Waffles or pancakes?
You're asking the hard questions here. If I'm not making it, I would say pancakes because I feel like waffles, man, they're a lot easier to make. But like, there's something about like a good like pancake that's made by somebody else that
Yeah.
gets a spot.
I like it. I like it. Coffee or tea with your pancakes?
Oh, definitely coffee, man.
Okay.
It's in my lifeblood, dude.
Lifeblood of champions. I love it. There we go. All right. Dogs or cats?
Oh, definitely dogs, man. Yeah, yeah. Like my one song's a hit,
Yeah.
supposedly, is a
Gotta be
dog. So
dog.
gotta be dogs, man.
Gatorade or Powerade? Neither of them are
I'm
paying
actually
us. It's a weird question.
nah, dude. I would say Powerade. I actually like. I didn't really drink Gatorade. I always went for that blue Powerade growing up.
Blue Powerade. All right. The blue tongue. I like it. Toast or bagels?
Ooh. I'm saying bagels. When I went to New York recently, and the best part of that trip was the bagels, even more than the
Yeah.
pizza, man. Was the bagels. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Nothing beats a smeared up lox bagel in New York. I tell you what. Um, chips or pretzels?
Ooh, definitely salt and vinegar chips all the way.
That's good. I like that. Fries or tots?
Depends on where the fries are from, but yeah, I'd say fries, man. It's funny. People shit on McDonald's, but they really do have the best fries. So yeah, McDonald's fries.
They're up there for me. They're up there for me. I like the Wendy's fries. I'm a kind of a weirdo. I also
Nah,
like the
those are
Burger
good.
King fries, but I haven't had them in a while. But
Dude, I haven't been to a Burger King in probably 15 years, so I wouldn't even know.
yeah, I mean, you haven't had it your way in a while. Come on,
Dude,
man.
it's been a long time.
I love it. All right, when you do wind down, you mentioned Netflix earlier. I think I know the answer to this one, but TV show or a movie when you're sitting down trying to relax.
See, that's tough, man, because when I'm trying to relax, I definitely go TV show for sure. But like I
Mhm.
am like a film buff, like I don't know. We've been working our way through like all the classics. So we just watched Taxi Driver the other night, me and my wife. She'd never seen it before. And yeah, it was good. It was good. But yeah, I feel like if you're just trying to chill out, definitely Netflix for sure.
Yeah, just turning something on. Aliens, are they real?
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah, no question. All right, Bigfoot.
So it's funny, man. I went to the home of Bigfoot, which is in Reamer, Minnesota, apparently. It's like a town. There's like 100 people that live in the whole town, but they like claim Bigfoot and there's like fucking statues of him everywhere. When I was there, I did not see him though, so I don't think he actually exists.
Yeah, I mean, a guy could have made a good point last night. Was he goes? I think it was just a gorilla that just lived in North America. And I was like,
Dude, that seems legit.
that's a
That's
good
legit.
point. There's gorillas everywhere else. Shit.
Yeah, why aren't they here, man?
Yeah, we got a lot of forest.
Yeah, yeah.
Is love at first sight real?
No.
Yeah.
Nah, I think my inner pessimist comes out and, I think love is real, right? But I don't think at first sight, nah, I don't
Yeah,
think that's true.
that's tough. That's tough. All right. Last question, Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. You've smashed it so far. Give me two bands that we ought to know, that we ought to check out. So we've got you've mentioned a couple here. So Made Up, of course, being one of them that you've mentioned, but could be two others that need some love and need to be checked out.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's so many good bands out there. I would say they're not a local Atlanta band, but they're called Illiterate Light, and they're fantastic. I actually had the chance to meet them. They're a duo, right, which is really cool. So they don't have a bass player; it's just a drummer, and their drummer stands like the guy from like the Violent Femmes used to do the drummer. So like,
Wow.
I saw them live, and they're cool as shit. And like, they're kind of popped, like sort of Tame Impala, but like they every once in a while would like bust out some like heavy ass shit, and like it sounded amazing. And the guy's got a really cool voice, so I would say definitely check them out. Um, let's see another band. Trying to think of off the top of my head. That's tough, man. I would say there's a band called Post Hunk. They're a local band, and they're kind of like a freak folk band. I would say check them out. The lead singer there is really phenomenal. He's super cool, and he's like this really eccentric guy. So they're a good local Atlanta band to check out.
Love it. I love it. We got a Literate Light and Post Hunk.
Yep.
Check them out as the listeners. Let's go. Let's
Cool.
get some juice going. Well, Ryan O'Connell, you conquered the Pete Peterson party pack of questions. Congratulations. We can't thank you enough for stopping by on here. And so June 8th, we got the show at Boggs. Um
Yep.
and any other singles, anything else coming out that we need to get some juice on?
So there's one that's in the works. I'm gonna have it mastered. I still haven't come up with a title yet, but it's gonna be more of just like a chill, like kind of slacker rock vibe. So yeah, that should be coming out, I don't know, next month or so, I'd say.
Nice, nice. We got a single coming next month. We got a show next month. I mean,
All kinds of stuff, man.
it's coming. You're gonna be coming down the mountain soon. It's gonna be all systems go. So get excited. I love it.
Cool, man.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, and everyone go check out um Ford. Go check out Dog. Go check out his singles on Spotify. He'll be linked up right here in the description of this pod. So go piece over there and get a little taste of Ryan here. Thank you all.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You got it.